Hello, everyone. How are you all doing this evening? Hope you guys are all doing well. We've got another Reform talk show, Graham. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm not too bad. I can't complain.
Can't complain. Well, I'm sure Reform have got plenty to complain about tonight.
Of course, yeah.
I can see the recently they're really up in the anti-rhetoric on the Green Party. Everybody is, especially with Zach Plansky's statement on the obviously the terrible stabbing that took place with the Jewish two Jewish people. It was an absolutely terrible incident, but people are taking Zach Plansky's words and literally twisting them and giving everybody an opportunity to have a go at them. But we're not talking about the Greens today, guys. We're going to talk about Reform Russia. Sorry, Reform UK. I keep getting the countries mixed up for some reason. We've got plenty to talk about. I'm hoping for you guys. I've got a couple of videos I want to play, hopefully for you guys as well. But no promises that they'll definitely work as well. Two arrested. Viper Scott says 2 arrested. I hear Reganelite from the Greens. Yes, 1 was arrested today for anti-Semitism. I did see that. I don't know about the second arrest, but 1 person has been arrested for anti-Semitism. Is my understanding there. That's definitely happened. I don't know about the second arrest, but there was definitely 1 there. Just want to say good evening to Dave McGuinness, Jow, person impersonator, Indie Duck Mel, Jow. I think that's everyone who's lurking in the chats at the moment here. Right, so I'm going to try. Let me share the headline first. I think I'm going to share the headline first. Let's see if I can actually make this work. So first and foremost, I want to share this. This is the big. Well, there's lots of stories, but I want to share this one first. We will get to the Nigel Farage one, but I want to share this one here from the Telegraph guys here. So a pub refusing to serve Reform UK supporters. So it says an Essex Wetherspoons stopped serving Nigel Farage backing drinkers because party bus is in the loading bay. It said that, remember, this is the Telegraph, so take with a massive pinch of salt, of course. It says that Wetherspoons pub manager has been accused of refusing to serve Reform UK supporters. In a footage shared online, which I'll try to share with you guys in a moment, the manager at the Picture Palace in Braintree, Essex, appears to turn away customers who supported Nigel Farage's party. Several members asked if they are being refused service because of their political allegiances. The staff member replied, yes. Wetherspoon spokesperson says service had been stopped because a Reform bus was parked in the pub's loading bay. In the footage shot inside the pub, the man could be heard saying, so we can't have a drink then? No. The manager responded, shaking his head, saying, yes, I'm deciding that, not today. When another man clarified that the Wetherspoons in Braintree was refusing to serve Reform supporters, the manager said yes. Graham, there's been stories, of course, about we'll play the video in a moment just for clarification, but there's obviously been around. We've seen pubs and certain places where they've banned Labour people from entering here. So obviously people don't know the full context, which I'm going to share with them in a moment here. But is it right for hospitalities or places like these to refuse to serve people simply because of their political beliefs, really?
I don't think it's right to refuse to serve people because of their political beliefs if they're quiet about them. If someone comes in and they're not overtly political, then let them get on with it. But if someone is walking around wearing stuff that that makes them, this reminds me of these people in America who are wearing MAGA hats and going into places and getting thrown out.
Yeah,
it's like people won't mind what your political convictions are if you shut up about them and don't mention them. You know what I mean? But if you go into a place and start shouting about hating migrants and hating all Muslims and voting for Nigel, then you're probably going to get told to fuck off, aren't you? And I think that's fair.
I can definitely see that point of view, but I think also as well, I know a lot of people are angry and frustrated with Labour. It also the other counter argument to some people is that, you know, at the end of the day, it's not public. It is literally like a business, and the owners and managers and whatnot can decide who's allowed to come in and who's not at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think that context really there's that context in it too, because like I wasn't really, like, me personally, like when I saw the things about no labor allowed here or no Kiyosama or certain things, I was like, to me it was like why would you bring politics into your business? Because you're literally like you're bringing you're even if you're a reform supporter, like you don't want to drive any kind of customers away from your hospitality, whatnot, even if you have disagreements about certain politics, you know. It's their business after all.
I'm a little bit reluctant to say it, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I'd imagine there's quite a lot of pub owners who support reform. I could be wrong, but time will tell.
Yeah, time will indeed tell. So I'm going to attempt to play the video here. Let's see if I can actually play it here. It's only 14 seconds long. Let's see if I can actually get it on with the sound. So give me 1 second, guys. Things might get very slow, possibly. So cross fingers we don't have any internet issues, but I really hope not. Right. So I'm going to play it, and then let me know after if you heard exactly what was said, guys. So it's only 40 seconds long, going around on the social medias, guys.
We can't have a drink then, no? Because you're deciding that. I'm deciding. You are. Yes. Okay. So when I speak to Regan tomorrow.
Wetherspoons and Braintree is refusing to serve reform supporters. Yeah, I am. Okay, thank
you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we can't have a
drink. Did you hear that, Graeme?
Only vaguely.
Only vaguely.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if there's. Oh, there's not an option to add text to it. Okay.
I'll be deaf at the best.
Well, I did turn it up to the max. I don't know.
Cheers of going to festivals and concerts.
I will just say this, like, it is quite. Yeah. I will say though, like, on paper here, like, it does feel a bit odd. But I think there's another context to this that people don't know about as well. Hold on, let me. I don't want it playing the video. Please don't.
Yeah.
There. So I want to share this here from here on the channel. It was fine. So if Scott said he heard it, so it looks like maybe even if I try and put it at maximum volume, hopefully maybe Graeme can hear it then. Cool. So I want to share this here from this Twitter handler News Muck, because he shared something that nobody actually have spotted with regards to this story here. Oh, I just saw the internet cut out there. So I just wanted to share this, if you guys can see this or not. I'm gonna just pull it up on the big screen for us here. And it says here that this is a statement from JD Wetherspoons. It says, Wetherspoons welcomes supporters of all political parties. In fact, the leaders of reform have regularly used our pubs in Clacton and Skegness, for example. Politics can obviously raise strong emotions, and we have asked all parties to use our pubs on a social basis rather than a political one to maintain good order and comply with licensing obligations. In this case, as a result of the supporters' bus being parked in the pub loading bay and filming taking place at the pub, service was refused. As indicated, reform supporters and other political supporters are welcome, but we do ask that they help to comply with our licensing obligations. So this is the official statement from reform. From JD Wetherspoons on the reasons. The main reason of why this happened here. And I'm actually glad that this statement was brought up, because I have not seen the statement until literally 40 minutes ago. But based on that statement there, Graham. What do you make of that there? I mean, I think it sounds perfectly logical and reasonable there. And you literally made the point before we even put that up there.
I think it sounds perfectly logical and reasonable as well.
Billy Kershaw asks, does your dog know we're live as well? Yeah. Billy wants to know.
She doesn't know much about anything these days. She exists in her own little world, don't you? Now, like I've said, I think if you're going to keep your opinions to yourself, then you should be allowed to go anywhere. But if you're going to go to places and start shouting your opinions about politics or immigration or Muslims or things, then the people are going to take exception to that. And businesses don't have to accept. They're not public buildings. They don't have to accept you if you're coming into their building and shouting things that are saying things that are going to upset people.
Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the chat about this here. Just out of curiosity, add your thoughts to this as well.
The thing with them banning Labour MPs, I think it comes from a level of stupidity, to be honest. I don't think they really know what Labour MPs are about. But I accept it because it's their right to do that. If they want to do that, then I don't agree with it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, like, to me, it's like I just kind of unfortunately, social gatherings like that, there are places where it's not just talking about normal stuff, politics can get brought up because it just does, because it can come into the conversation, especially when it affects people's lives. And then obviously when you've got different people with different political views, it can sometimes get a bit nasty as well, depending on where their political side is. I mean, I don't know how often there are rows within pubs when it comes to political views, because I haven't been in one for a while. I
don't go to pubs very often these days.
So, Indie Duck Mel says, I'm more concerned about getting in, but then getting booted out. Damn steps. Yeah, Mel, they'd have to help you up there because of your situation. Bless you. Jal says, I have customers that go every day or whatever to the pub. They're going to feel uncomfortable because some reform idiots decide to go to my pub. A question mark, says Jal. Well, it's obviously in Portugal. I don't know how often politics is talked about in places in pubs in Portugal. I can't obviously speak for you, but only you can speak from your perspective there. So, Daily Blase, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Blah blah says, who can afford to go to the pubs these days? Well, you'd be surprised. People still go to the pubs. There are still plenty. It's mainly older. I would say people more above 30, 40, and that there are still like people going to the pubs. Like, there isn't one down the road here. I think like about 15-20 minute walk from where I am. There's a tavern. Well, they call it the tavern. But it still does plenty of business on Friday and on the weekends, to be fair. So people still like, yes, there are pubs that are still closing down. There are losing people. I think that's definitely true because people are struggling. But there's still people in certain pubs. Like, I mean, obviously in the capital in London, you see plenty of them around, but it's different perspective there, to be fair. But I think I don't know. Let me just see what else, if there's more.
I'm just going to have to get the charger to plug my computer. Then give us a sec.
No, you're good. I'll just have a look, see what you guys are saying in the chat there. I'm just talking from a perspective of a Brett, my friend. It's irony, says Joe. That's all right. I don't know how many Portuguese pubs there are. I know you got some really nice restaurants in Portugal there. There, because me and my partner have been in one and two the last time we went to the country as well. Daniela, good to see you there. I hope you are doing well as well. And yes, Friday day Blase will be doing another Friday Frolics tomorrow at 5:00. I will not be there to join you, Darren, I'm afraid, because I'm going to a wrestling show tomorrow evening. So I'm sorry to say I will not be there for that there. Blah blah says, to be fair, the last pub I went to was full of reformy boomers. Quickest half pint I've ever had. It's a shame that you can't have conversations with people without bringing up politics, you know, if that's the case
Well, I don't know.
where you are.
You can't really talk to them in a pub. There's some places you can speak to people, but a pub isn't one of them.
Yeah, and actually says it actually has the Telegraph actually have got it posted in their piece. Actually, if you actually look into it, there it actually's got the actual statement that I just shared there as well. So actually, you know, even though they've got it there, it's like right down the piece there. To be fair, so who said that? Tatsdam Fluffery's getting absorbed by Israeli boats. Yeah, I heard the flotilla's been stopped on its journey. I haven't seen anything on that, guys. So just cross fingers everyone is okay who are on it.
I haven't read anything about that today.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, isn't
there? There is way too much going on. So one story from Reform also which sparked a lot of anger, and rightfully so, is this one here from Reform's Arron Banks, and says a message that sparked the racist claim was a joke. So just for context for people who don't, so just for context for people who don't know, a prominent member of Reform UK has claimed that a comment he made on social media that sparked accusations of racism was a joke. Arron Banks posted Welsh lad ? On X in response to a Plaid Cymru video on the platform fronted by a black community organiser from Butte Town in Cardiff. Plaid Cymru's Commons leader Liz Saville Robbins claimed that Banks thought black people can't be Welsh. Banks told BBC Wales that Plaid had lost their sense of humour. I mean, like, why do these people not think before they tweet? It's just the thing that just sticks out to me so much. Like, I mean, like, even if you're implying it was a joke, right? Even if, like, say hypothetically, he was implying it was a joke, right? And he generally was a joke, right? Even if it was, right? Why would you do that, knowing the perception of what you're tweeting is going to give the impression that you're racist to black people who are living in Wales? Because that's literally what you're implying with your tweet.
Well, I think it doesn't. I mean, I think we have to ask ourselves with these kind of people who are making comments like this: are they genuinely that stupid, or is there an ulterior motive for why they're saying these things? You know, and I don't think he's a stupid man, Arron Banks. I think he knows exactly what he's saying. He didn't make a stupid mistake. He meant what he was saying, but he's realised since that it's not okay to say that. So he's tried to reel it back.
So,
well, I suppose he hasn't really, but other people have.
It says that Banks stood for reform in the West of England's mayoral elections in 2025, narrowly losing out to Labour. What a surprise. He was previously a major donor to UKIP and helped Nigel Farage's campaign for the UK to leave the EU. Unbelievable. I never thought that would have come up at all, Graham. Never saw that coming at all. But don't worry for Welsh viewers. He's not standing in the 2026 seed election. So that's good for them. BBC Wales was told that Banks is not a donor to reform, is not a spokesperson, and he does not hold any position in the party, but that he is a party member. So he's not holding any position. He's just a member expressing his views, Graham. He's not actually a representative of Reform UK. Sorry, Reform Russia there. Nah.
You'd have to be stupid to believe that. When you haven't said that, you bank on a lot of the supporters being stupid, don't they? So, maybe there is a lot of people that believe it, but I certainly don't.
Banks was asked if he could explain what he meant with his comment and whether he wanted to respond to Savage Roberts. He said it was a joke. Plaid have understandably lost their sense of humour. Plaid have always said that Wales is only for the Welsh and anti-English. Talk about disparity there. I don't know if Plaid have.
There's no Welsh black people now.
I don't know if Plaid Cymru have actually said anti-English. I'm not gonna respond to that comment if that's true or not, because at the end of the day, they're fighting for the people of Wales. That's their political party, just like the SNP are fighting for the people of Scotland. So, you know,
exactly.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
Around there.
So if they did say if they say anti-English, then, you know, like at the end of the day, it's not English people, it's the government, it's the government, Westminster, more in general. They're pointing their frustration for, not ordinary people, but people always will take it out of context, which is the big thing there. Soviet Reform Party, says Daniela. Well, I prefer Reform Russia seems rhymes off the tongue a lot better, me personally. There. So he wrote on X that Reform's 2025 candidate for the West of England's mayoral election says,
I feel
I was just going to say, let me finish this point, because you're not going to hear this. He says, so Stafford Roberts wrote on X that Reform's 2025 candidate for the West of England's mayoral election thinks that black people can't be Welsh.
It's hard to even know what to say to that, isn't it?
I don't know what you can say to that.
If that isn't racism, then I don't know what is.
Racism is rife within Reform. We must stop them from being the largest party in the seed.
Fashionable again nowadays, racism.
In a statement, Reform UK Cymru referred to issues Plaid had encountered with some of its own candidates and added that this hypocrisy from Plaid is getting really tiresome. This is their response to it specifically. Reform did not comment on this post specifically there. So they kind of like not really going to get involved.
Only right to comment on hypocrisy.
Yeah. Person there says Plaid Cymru are a lot less anti-English than people think. They are just nationalists, not hate mongers. Yeah, I agree with that. I absolutely 100% agree with that. England don't get proper governance. There's 2, 3, 4 there as well. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that as well there. It's just once again stirring the pot for sure with that one there. Yeah. Graeme, you said you had some stuff as well before we went live. Did you want to share some of that with us today?
Well, yeah, I mean, the absolute cheek of this, the way they're dealing with this £5 million donation thing.
Was it 5 billion?
Yeah, sorry, 5 million. 5 billion. I think we could definitely expect a reform government if someone gave them 5 billion the next election. Sorry, 5 million. This £5 million investment, Farage is trying to say that it was because it was for security. It wasn't for security. We all know what it's about. But apparently it's being referred to the Electoral Commission sort of thing for it. So will anything come of it? I find it hard to believe. But he's clearly lying through his teeth again.
Who was it that reported the Nigel Farage? I believe it was the Conservatives, was it not?
Well, yeah, this is what surprised me a little bit. It's not just Labour MPs; it's Conservative MPs that have reported it as well. Now, whether that's just because they're angry that they're seeing reform get to sort of get a bit of a boost that they're not, who knows? But it has surprised me that Conservative people have reported it as well. But I hope maybe that will make it hold a little bit more weight.
Yeah, because there was I don't think I'm going to be able to play videos, but there was a report from Channel 4 on it, and it started by saying that Conservatives have reported Nigel Farage to the committee on it. So, I mean, mind you, though, they have contributed to the damage that that reform have gone through here. Oh, sorry, you were correct. It's not 5 billion. It's actually 5 million. Yeah, you were right the first time.
Yeah,
Shows what I know, guys. For some reason, I think it was 5 billion.
Oh my God! Imagine if it was 5 billion, there'd be like giant pictures of Nigel Farage on every street corner, wouldn't there? And like 10 leaflets through your letterbox every day. Imagine what you could afford to do with 5 billion pound. Oh, what a horrible thought.
Oh, I know, absolutely horrible thought. Just see if I can. I wanted to see if I can bring up. I wanted to try and try again with another video, but the thing is that I can't. I wanted there isn't an option to add like I don't, maybe it's the videos. No, there's no option to add text to it. So normally there's an option to add text to the video, which is really annoying. I mean, I can try to play some of it from Channel 4. I can give it a go. Yeah, I'll give it a go. See if it goes all right here, guys. I'm going to take us off the screen and we'll listen to it together. Cross fingers, Graeme, you can hear it. All right, I'll put it on maximum volume, and let's hear what they have to say on this, guys. If you can't hear it, let me know in the comments, guys.
As Parliament closes ahead of the local elections, Conservatives have referred Nigel Farage to the Parliamentary Standards Watchdog. They've accused him of failing to declare a gift of around £5 million from a Thai-based British businessman in 2024. The leader of Reform UK said he had been given the money to boost his security. He accepted the financial support before announcing he would stand for Clacton-on-Sea in the general election. Our political editor, Gary Gibbon, reports.
Well, The Guardian was waiting for Nigel Farage's lawyers to get back to them about a secret £5 million gift they wanted to write about. He and the donor gazumped them with their own story gifted to the Telegraph, focusing on a firebomb attack on Nigel Farage's home a year ago.
I didn't know Nigel Farage got his home got firebombed, Graeme. Did he actually get firebombed? Like, yeah,
No,
I don't know.
But
it may be the case.
Isn't okay either.
Sorry, say again.
I said no, he didn't. It wasn't as extreme as what they're making out, but at the same time, it wasn't okay either. I mean, political violence is never okay. I would never support that.
No, of course not. No,
but
no.
He doesn't need £5 million of security.
Well, he took it on, guys, and he's now got more security than ever before. Unfortunately. Are you able to hear it at all, Graeme, or is it? Are you able to hear the video at all, or is it just silent for you?
Yeah, I can hear it fine. Yeah, I can hear this one.
Okay, good. That's. I wanted to make sure. I wanted to know that you could hear it as well as the chat.
Right,
otherwise, I would have been like, oh, okay, all right. All right. Let's carry on, guys.
Lovely.
The Guardian alleges that having stated he did not intend to stand for Parliament, Nigel Farage U-turned in June 2024 within weeks of receiving the personal gift from a cryptocurrency businessman, Christopher Harborne.
So literally, he got offered a huge amount of money and said, Nigel, get back into politics. And he's like, all right, I'll do it. Only because I got offered a lot of money.
Well, it seems obvious to us, but it's not obvious to the foreign voters, is it?
No, apparently not. Dear.
In the Telegraph, Nigel Farage said the money was given because Christopher is an ardent supporter who is deeply concerned for my safety.
Isn't he? Honestly. He gave him the money because, Graeme, he was so concerned about the well-being of Nigel Farage that he had to give him £5 million.
Something like a nuclear milkshake at him. Or a Muslim milkshake at him.
He could have said, mate, come with me to Thailand. I'll protect you over here. You know, I'm so concerned about your well-being. Yeah, take him to Thailand. You know, if you're so concerned about his well-being, you know, you could have brought him over to Thailand, you know, and instead of running for office and all this kind of stuff, you know, ship him over to Thailand. I'm sure he'd do some work for you over there.
Wow.
You didn't have to waste £5 million. Could have saved a lot of money there as well, and protected Nigel Farage at the same time. Oh dear.
The money, it was said, went towards security provision. Nigel Farage campaigning this week with his sizable security team. It was very significantly smaller at the beginning of 2024 when he was given £5 million.
God, stop! You got to prevent those milkshakes, lads. It's a very important business. I want those milkshakes stopped at all costs.
Someone could throw radioactive eggs at him.
Oh, good God. The mutation that could lead to it as well. I mean, how can you... I mean, in all seriousness, right? You know, if you're like, how are you supposed to approach this man? Like, that's intimidating. If you're not even someone in politics, right? Even if you're somebody who's not even into politics and whatnot, and you see this guy with all this security around him, it's a little bit intimidating.
A little bit there, mate.
You know, it's just it would like, even if I wasn't in politics and I saw someone like that and I didn't know who they were, I would have thought, oh, they must be some big celebrity or something. And then you find out they're just a politician. I'm like, well, do they really need that much security? Like, what are they afraid of? Like, are they going to get, like, is someone, you know, I didn't know there was an assassination attempt on Nigel Farage, but it's just well over the top, it is to me.
But you don't need that much security if you're somebody that's doing and saying things that a lot of people hate. You know, I mean, if you were a nice person, you wouldn't. You don't see Hannah Spencer or Zach Polanski or, to be honest, even Keir Starmer with, like, walking around with, like, massive giant men with suits on around them, waiting to take down anybody who might say anything rude to them, do you?
Well, the Greens don't have a lot of money, but I think the
Greens have no money.
No, but I do think Hannah does have people one or two people with her now because she's had threats. Yeah, because I don't know about Zach Polanski. I think he still drives around a lot on his own. But yes, Hannah definitely does have people with her now because she's had lots of threats, you know, a lot more.
Yeah, I'm guilty of throwing something else a little bit there that I wasn't actually certain of. To be honest, I don't really know what the levels of security that Zach Polanski or Hannah Spencer have around them, but I would imagine it's nothing like what Nigel Farage needs.
Pounds. But Reform UK says that Nigel Farage intends to use that money to cover security costs over the rest of his life. His critics said any such gift had to be declared under parliamentary rules, but this one, until today, was kept secret.
As an MP, when you first get elected, you're told very clearly, we were all told by Parliament, that you have to declare everything that you received in the year before you became an MP, whether you're a candidate, whether you're even thinking of running or not. The rules are the rules, and we're told that very clearly when we come into Parliament. So yet again, this seems to me another example of where he's just been completely blasé about the rules, doesn't think they apply to him.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, he thinks he's above the rules. But the problem is, Graham, is that with so... I'll just bring us back on the screen temporarily because just so they can see us. The problem is that the punishments are too weak. Like, what's the worst he can get? A fine? It's not like he's going to face imprisonment.
He doesn't get a lot of fine. He's vastly wealthy.
Yeah. Daily Blase says, I'm very concerned about my safety since I was recognised outside my local a few weeks ago. Can this guy give me $5 million to pay for my cough security? It will be money well spent. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, as I'm sure as our, we're very much concerned about your well-being, Darren. I'm sure if you send an email to Christopher, I'm sure he will send you $5 million over as soon as possible because, of course, he's very much concerned about the well-being of YouTubers and influencers like myself and you and Jow and Graeme Pryce and I'm sure he thought, and also think of an extra, I'm sure he can spare another $5 million to Dave McGuinness, which he can pass on then to lots of great food banks who do wonderful work and charities that do wonderful work in Scotland. So there's definitely I'm sure I'm sure that will definitely be beneficial indeed. So Nell says, what about the ducks? Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of duck charities we can pass the money on to as well there. So, yeah, indeed. But yeah, it's pretty embarrassing indeed.
Yes,
anyway, let's try and get to the end of this video, guys.
Christopher Harborne, seen here in 2019 when Nigel Farage was attacked with a milkshake, has also given 12 million over the last 8 months to Reform UK.
So we are about to place our Bitcoin order.
Nigel Farage promoting a crypto company. He's repeatedly promoted the whole sector where much of Christopher Harborne's fortune has been made.
Yeah, there's guys, there's you know, as Kwasi Kwarteng said, guys, there's no conflict of interest whatsoever with his crypto and Nigel Farage, you know, investing in it and whatnot. There's no conflict of interest whatsoever there, is there, Graeme?
Oh, of course not. No, none at all.
No, it's perfect.
Do you know what? I have
right.
5 reasons video about Kwasi Kwarteng. He was quite a big name in the Tory party, but never big enough for me to really have a proper look at. But imagine the stuff I might have found out of it, have delved into his past. He's a boring man, but I'm sure he's a dark man with some big secrets as well.
Well, now you've got that on your list there. Five reasons why Kwasi Kwarteng is a twat. There we go, guys. Oh, we've just got Graeme. We've just got protection payments sent in from Steve McMahon there. Thank you so much for the protection payment. We'll definitely use that for security in the future. Thank you so much for your support, Steve. Very much appreciated. We definitely need plenty of security there, and even more funds towards the security there from Viper Scott there. 5 million to the Penguin Island. You know, of course, McDonald's Island. Yeah, we definitely need to protect the animals as well. That'll definitely go a long way indeed. Thank you guys for those super chats there. Oh, wait, it's not it. We got more security donation there from Martin Brisk there. Thank you so much. You know, we're seeing the money. You know, people are now very concerned about our safety, Graeme. And look, even our good friend Dave McGuinness is bringing in protection money as well. Thank you guys so much for the protection money. Yes, we will make sure we will get the most secure, stern, stellar forces to protect us without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I might need someone to escort me when I nip down to the corner shop for some milk and dog treats.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you need protection for the dog? Of course. Like, you know... Of course. How could you possibly forget about the dog, guys? Yeah, absolutely, guys. Absolutely. You know, that but protection is really, really important. And Mr. E with a £5 donation. Here is the 0.000005 million there as well.
That's excellent.
That's very good, Mr. E. Thank you so much for the £5.
Well done, mate.
Very much appreciate very much appreciate it. And Martin with another super chat there, and Confetti secure ones. Yes, we reached today's super chat goal. I don't have Confetti animation because I'm using StreamYard. But yes, guys, yes, it's very secure Confetti indeed. So in all seriousness, thank you guys so much for the super chats. Very, very much appreciated there. You mean that's not a guard dog, says Mel? No, the dog next to Graeme is not a guard dog, I'm afraid. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Yeah, Mel thought it was a guard dog, Graeme.
Guard dogs need to be able to see.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. All right, let's just get to the end. Let's carry on with this video.
The fact is that Reform have basically announced some policies that are very beneficial to people like Christopher Harborne. So that's why it's very important that the public and Parliament can see and scrutinise monies that are received by parliamentarians to make sure there is no wrongdoing, or if there is influence, people understand the nature of that influence.
5 months ago, Nigel Farage was asked what Christopher Harborne was expecting in return for his political donation to Reform UK.
Do I speak to him regularly? Maybe once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks, but certainly not more than that. And have I promised him anything? Hand on heart, I have not promised him a single thing in return for his donation.
Yep,
Lies.
guys. There's the.
Liar.
That's right, guys. He's nothing in return. He gave me £5 million, but
Bullshit.
he's not asking for anything in return. He wants you to. He thinks
stupid, doesn't he?
that's it. I was about to say that. He thinks you're all a bunch of fuck. He literally thinks that. Nigel Farage thinks you. He thinks me, you, and everyone in this chat are a bunch of fucking idiots. That's literally what he wants you to think. You know, in all seriousness, like you know, that's what he wants. That's what he thinks. You know, he thinks you're all gullible. Like we're not. We're not. He hasn't got a heart.
Apparently, quite a lot of Britain are that gullible, but not all of us.
Yeah, very, very important indeed. Right, let's finish this, guys. Last little bit.
BlackRock!
Parliament was prorogued this afternoon ahead of the King's speech in 2 weeks' time. The Conservatives referred Nigel Farage to the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner for investigation. Reform UK said the gift from Christopher Harborne had been personal and unconditional and didn't need to be declared.
Didn't need to be declared, apparently.
Well, you know, it
didn't need to be declared.
I mean, of course he's going to say that, but he's lying, isn't he? Or he's just wrong, or he's lying and wrong, or he's stupid. No, he's not stupid. That's the problem. He's not stupid. He's done this because he knows he can get away with it by just saying, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And that seems to be a repeating pattern for Mr. Farage, doesn't it? I mean, what about the 17?
It just seems to be
the 17 things he didn't register a few weeks back.
Yeah, it's like wasn't there an issue with another Reform MP who said like that's it, Richard Tice, that's right. He said he's accountants. He said it was his accountant's fault, wasn't it? That's right. He said that's it. There's something to do with his accountants or something. Didn't give the full correct information, guys. That's what it was. Dear, oh dear, guys.
I have looked at Richard Tice and some of the things we've been saying a little bit in the last week, but I haven't really written anything down for tonight about Richard Tice. But I mean, the man's clearly a horrible twat, isn't he? You know, what more can you say? He continually tells lies that are easily disprovable or says things that are so hypocritical that you look at him and you think, how can people believe what this man is saying? But they're out there and they do, so.
Sarah Davis says, I'm surprised he didn't say it was only rested in his bank account. No, not just a bank account, an offshore bank account, Sarah. It's in an offshore bank account. Offshore bank account, what you were meant to say there. Yeah. Oh, dear. Well, guys, I want to share another clip here, which because it seems to be working pretty well. I want to share this great clip from Hope Not Hate they put up on X.
I like Hope Not Hate.
Yeah, this is very, very good. It's especially when they put a bunch of stories, about certain candidates that you didn't know about, but you might not have known about before. But you're gonna know here, guys. This is really, really good stuff from them here. So let's listen into all of this because this really does say a lot about them.
Reform UK claims that it has the best vetting process in politics. So, is this true? Well, spoiler alert, of course it isn't. As we get closer to the May elections, let's take a look at some of the worst Reform activists who thought that they'd hidden anti-Semitism, conspiracy theories, well, the list goes on. There's Ben Rowe in Plymouth who fantasizes about impaling Muslims and enjoys crude anti-black stereotypes. James Bembridge in Westminster says he hates the NHS and wants to tear it down. Leo Freeland in Barnet thinks is disgraceful and has called for every Muslim out of Europe. Emma Clatworthy in Bridgend and the Vale of Glamorgan is partial to weird conspiracy theories. In Blackburn, there's a whole host of conspiracy theorists and Oswald Mosley and Enoch Powell fans. David Davies in London's Wanstead Village wants to remove every Romanian from the country. Daniel Devaney in Bradford wants to blast Muslims all off the face of the earth. Paul Taylor
Oh,
in Oldham
for God's
liked and
sake.
posted a series of anti-Islam posts. Stephen Lewis in Wakefield appears to believe he's an avenging angel of God. J. Leslie Cooper in Sefton described the Holocaust as a hoax. Linda McFarlane in Gateshead called for Keir Starmer and David Lammy to be shot and want to return to white Britain. And let's not forget that 3 people stood for reform in these elections that were once associated with the fascist BNP. And of course, last but not least, there's Aaron Taylor, an Essex reform activist seemingly obsessed with Adolf Hitler, who hung out at Reform HQ and welcomed Nigel Farage to his tanning salon business. All smiles and handshakes, and these examples are just the tip of the iceberg. It's never ending. It's not just 1 or 2 bad apples. This is a systemic failure of Reform's vetting system, and also poses the question, what is it about Nigel Farage's party that attracted these candidates and activists with such extreme and repugnant views?
Great video, and just
Excellent.
some of those examples is just absolutely diabolical.
Yeah, I wish I could force everybody in the UK to watch that.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's really insane, guys. An association of criminals and creeps, says Jow. Yep, that's a great description of them all there. 234 says this is a right mixed bunch. Yeah, like these are people who are claiming to be patriots. And you know what was kind of like something that stuck out to me when I was listening to all that as well? There's obviously 1 or 2. I think there was 1 or 2 people who were. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think there was a black person that appeared out of one of them there, and then you heard another person talking about wanting to have purge Britain of all white people, and it's just like, hang on a minute, that reform person is black, and you're saying you want to get rid of all blacks, and I'm like, I think there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, just horrifying indeed, guys. And these are the kinds of people. These are the kinds of people. We're already seeing just how bad things are in Kent because their council have raised council tax when they said they were going to cut it. They're saying they haven't got a plan. They're making life very difficult for adult social care as well. They're trying to cut things that people need. And at the same time, there was a story a while ago where I think 1 or 2, they paid a lot of money for consultants, huge amounts of money for consultants as well. I mean, and this is just one area. It's really, really frightening indeed. I do want to share that funny AI video, but I'll share that one later. There. Another one here I want to share with you guys here about it's not just Starmer out. It's about how long Reform UK's councillors last given their incompetence, racism, and far right extremism. So Nigel Farage, I don't know how old this video is. I don't know if it's recent, but I think it's worth me sharing this one here. I believe this is on the BBC. This one. I'm pretty sure it is, but here's Nigel getting very uncomfortable with some of the lines of questions that was put to him here.
Okay.
Let me make sure it's always on.
Looking at the latest count, and 74 Reform councillors elected last year have either resigned, walked away, defected, or been expelled or suspended from the party. Do you still have an issue with vetting and selection?
Yeah, I mean, Labour have lost 300 and the Tories have lost 200. So there is a big churn in local government.
Labour and Conservative have lost a higher number than Reform UK have. Reform UK has lost a higher proportion. And if you just look at some of the high-profile cases, Chris Parry put forward to stand at Hampshire and Solent's first mayor. That was a big position. He was suspended over comments about a Jewish group, which I know you've come out and apologised for. Former Staffordshire County Council Ian Cooper had his party membership revoked when he was accused of racially abusing public figures online. Does it worry you as a party leader that your party is attracting these sort of people?
No,
guys. Apparently not. It's all totally fine from his perspective, guys. I mean, I don't know what more you need to say from that. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. You know, put all that in front of Nigel Farage, and still, you know, he's just going to just play it off, or you know, he hates this kind of line of questions. He hates this kind of stuff. You know what? Just while Graham's away, just in America right now, it's very, very hard for someone to put tough questions to the President of the United States. I can assure you that if Nigel Farage becomes Prime Minister, he will go out of his way to subjugate a lot of the mainstream media when it comes to lines of questions as well. He will go out of long ways to doing the same thing, because he can't handle the tough questions. He can't handle the difficult questions. And this is just one of many examples of when he's put under the cosh, under the pressure, he just can't handle it. That's just the reality of it there. Nigel Briskin with a female journalist, quite surprised. Yeah, yeah, he was, I think he was one time really rude to a female journalist at a press conference, or it's probably happened multiple times, to be fair there. But it's just, once again, like he cannot handle he can't handle real questions, real journalists, or being on primetime television where they're asking those tough ones there. He just bottles it, or just tries to rub it off and whatnot. It's just ridiculous, really, from there. Before you went away, did you manage to see some of the video?
Jalou is literally only around the corner there. I could hear every word. Yeah. It's like you say, he's just utterly dishonest, isn't he? You can't really trust anything he says.
Yeah, I don't really know what more context to add more than that, really, I suppose. No, it's pretty embarrassing indeed. Shall we listen to Nigel Farage get embarrassed again, guys? What do you guys think? Shall we do another
yes,
one? This is actually let's do another one. Yeah, I do have other articles, but I think some of these videos are actually worth looking at here. So this one here, guys. So this one, he was speaking to BBC News again here. Let me see if I can get this up here. So yet again, Nigel Farage is humiliated and exposed for not having a clue. Never vote reform. So listen very carefully to the questions and listen very carefully to the responses from the Reform Russian leader. Yeah, so.
We will run adult social care in East and West Sussex as it is now, right? Happy with that?
I want to go and see what your policy is. You haven't got one, and I can't find one. I had a look.
I tell you what, cross the border into Kent, we're running social care policy, right? We haven't rocked the boat. We haven't changed the system. So on day one, we'll be running it the way that East and West Sussex are. But are we looking and searching for radical options that give better value for money? You bet your life we are.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like I literally just said earlier, there has been reports that they wanted to cut adult social care in Kent. And here is Nigel. Now, obviously, Nigel Farage is going to say, I don't know what goes on in Kent. I don't run Kent. It's only what the people in there are doing, so I can't comment on it, yada, 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 is what he'll probably say. But I've definitely heard those stories. I don't know if they're actually going to be able to do that or not, or if they did, it would be very consequential indeed. And certainly other political parties will step involved indeed. But like, just off the bat there, saying, like, it's very, very scary indeed, isn't it, Graham?
Yes, it is very scary. It's difficult because you see these people enjoying success and rising, and Reform are leading in the polls. And yes, it's not like if there was a party who generally had some principles and ideas. These are deceptive, dishonest, racist, far right people, and yet you know what? You've set me off. I've got rambling, but these are deceptive people, and every single time I see Nigel Farage, what he says is deceptive, dishonest, and divisive, and it's he must know what he's doing. He must know what he's doing. It's not stupidity. It's not just ideology. He knows exactly that he's manipulating the public. I'm sorry, mate. I've got a little bit carried away there, but just it annoys me when I see him sometimes. And the things he says.
No, it's perfectly all right to vent your frustration, because it is very frustrating indeed. But it's important that we, when we get the opportunity to call out this stuff, we try to do it as much as we possibly can. We can't always catch it. We can't always be there to it. But if we have an opportunity to try and do it, we have to call it out for what it is.
Yeah.
It's really, really important, guys. Let's. I will say this though: the host does a fairly good job of, undermining Nigel here, which is very, very good. Which is something, before I even play this, hold on. Before I even played this, Graeme, didn't Nigel? Hold on. Maybe my memory. Maybe I'm losing my memory a little bit. But didn't Nigel Farage said he was never going to be on the BBC again?
Yeah, he was boycotting them, wasn't he? He wasn't speaking to them. He wasn't their friend anymore.
That's right. So, this is BBC Radio Sussex. I'm confused.
So.
What happened? Did he? What changed? I wonder what changed.
It's almost
Graeme.
like he's a liar and a hypocrite, isn't it?
I know. Unbelievable. It literally just clocked my mind out there. Yeah.
Would that radical option be?
I can't tell you what I'm going to be in my thinking in 6 months or
So
in
you
8
don't
months.
know, really, basically. You say it's a radical option, but you don't actually know what that option will be.
You can either be closed-minded in life and say, you know what, we'll leave everything exactly as it is. Or you can say, this is a massive cost and a massive burden, and we have to fight and think and find out better ways of doing things. And that's where we are.
But you haven't...
Why does he have to use the word fight? We're talking about a very serious subject here about social care. What does fighting got to do with any of this? Why would you insert a word like that into something like this? It's because he wants people to get violent.
He wants to associate himself with Donald Trump, doesn't he? And fight and all that. Is slipping terms into the language that he thinks are evocative for the people that he hopes support him.
There's no fighting whatsoever here. This is about adult social care. I'm not saying this to you, Graeme, but I'm just saying this to people who might be watching, who may be lurking in the background and may be supporters of reform. I want them to understand here. You were talking about, she's talking about adult social care here. We want to talk about what we're doing to improve adult social care here. Why would you use the word fight in adult social care? It's normalized when you hear people talking to reference it towards immigration, which is wrong, but you do hear that word when they talk about immigration, which is disgusting in its own way. But we're talking about adult social care. We're not talking about a war. We're not talking about boats. We're talking about adult social care. People who need looking after when they're older in life. What has that got to do with fighting? None.
Well, I don't think much of Nigel Farage, but I reckon even he could take out an 83-year-old dementia patient in a care home. So, talking about fighting probably isn't really relevant here.
No, it isn't. It's dog whistling to his supporters, says Diz. Yeah, it is dog whistling. That's exactly what it is. Well said, Diz. Well said. All right, let's hear the rest of this.
You haven't got a better way. You haven't got one that you can give to me now.
I wish I could wave a magic wand on all the problems in Sussex and around the country, but sadly, I'm not a genius. I take time to work.
Isn't that what politicians promise us though in the run-up to elections?
That's why I'm not promising it. I'm being
exactly. So you haven't come up with an answer on that. Let's move on to.
I want to repeat this. We will run adult social care in East and West Sussex as it is now. Right? Happy with that? But we'll think about finding radical ways of doing it better. We will.
See, I love how the host pins this off. Okay, so you don't have a policy. Okay, you don't know any. You've got no plan whatsoever to improve adult social care. Right, let's move on. No. That's not what I meant.
I know she's done
quite
well.
That's literally what he was going along. It's very, very good because it's forcing Nigel to because he's like, I can't, because literally he's, and you say he is a smart man because he knows he can't end the conversation like that, because he knows if he ends the conversation like that, it makes him look bad. He already looks bad anyway, but from the perspective of, it comes across from the perspective of, you don't know what you're doing. No, we do know what we're doing. We just want it to be you know, he's just twisting it, of course, you know.
Yeah, of course he is.
Hmm.
I mean, I was reading today about this thing. It's got Operation Restoring Justice, it's called. And this is a plan where he plans to return over 600,000 migrants over 5 years if he gets into office. And it's not just a bit silly. It's just not possible. It's like if you really look into the numbers and the figures that he's suggesting, it's not even possible. He's not a serious man. He's a populist by every definition of the word. He's telling people what they want to hear, but he's got no plans to implement any of these things.
Someone do the math. How many would have to be deported daily if that was to happen? Someone can do the math on that. What did you say? 500,000? And what's the number?
600,000, yeah, over 500,000.
So 600,000 in 5 years. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many is that a day they have to deport? If someone could do the calculations, let us know in the comments.
That is too fast for me. But what he's also said, as well as those 600,000, he's going to go back over the last 5 years of claims from asylum seekers and look at them all again with a harsher perspective and turn away people that it's gonna exceed far beyond the 600,000 that he's talking about, because he's talking about returning every single asylum seeker that he doesn't agree with over the last 5 years as well.
So we're talking about people whose asylum claim has been accepted, that they have been allowed to come into the UK. They've made their claim. Their claim has been accepted. They're into British society.
But then Reform have gone into government and they've changed all the requirements and decided that those people didn't qualify after all.
Right.
That's what he's talking about.
Which is just absolutely outrageous, because it's like, you know, you had one government saying one thing and you got another government saying another thing, and it's just like
he's talking about retrospectively removing people's rights to asylum, and you know that's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's just Viper Scott says 1,635 per day for a year, according to his calculations. So every day, 1,635 per day. How many flights would that be a day?
2 or 3 at least, isn't it? Even if you use the biggest planes, it's 2 or 3. If you use EasyJet planes, it's about 5, because they're like flying buses, aren't they, with wings?
Jesus, I'm trying to do the like. So you're thinking about all the so you're talking about 1,635 people per day, right? Allegedly is what this target is going to be. And then you're talking about 3 or 4 flights, for that many people, because obviously planes can only carry so many people. What's the maximum most planes can carry? What about?
I think it's about 500, but I think that applies to the massive ones. I think that the type of planes that are in common use for like easy.
Remember, it's commercial flights commercial flights won't do it. Commercial flights won't do it because it's bad. It'll make them look bad. But it'll be
shareways then, wouldn't it?
Because remember when the Conservatives tried to introduce the Rwanda policy. Remember when they tried to introduce the Rwanda policy and they tried to get airlines to sign up for it? They didn't want to touch it because it would make them look bad, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, so they're going to need. So they're going to use military planes to ship them out. So
it wouldn't really work. The biggest military planes don't carry anywhere near the amount of people that they're talking about. That will make a difference. You know, they're intended to carry 50 guys with like massive backpacks and machine guns and things and parachutes and stuff. They're not intended to carry Mohammed from Syria back home. You know, these planes aren't intended for that. It would be a humongous waste of money and a complete waste of time to start trying to do it via military aircraft.
Far Age Airlines, says Billy Kershaw. Counter Kev says they could put them on lorries via the Channel Tunnel, or they could stop people going using they could cancel the Eurostar and the Euro Tunnel and basically just ship them out that way as well. But then you'd have the French kicking off because they wouldn't have agreed to it as well. Like, the problems continue to stack up. Like, this is the thing. This is what a lot of reform supporters don't understand. Like, it's not like, even if we leave the European Convention on Human Rights, it's still not going to be like a simple case of you send them all back. You've got to have agreements with countries. I mean, I know Nigel Farage has got an agreement with the Taliban, and I'm very happy he got an agreement with the Taliban. But he's still got to give agreements from other countries as well, because not everyone came from Afghanistan. There are, it's not like I don't know if he's got an agreement with Romania, because obviously one of those people said they want to send all Romanians back to their country. So. Have you got any other bits on the paper you want to share?
I don't think there's a huge amount of people coming from Romania to Britain. I don't think there has been for some years. I know there was a lot of Albanians at one point, but even the Tories managed to solve that, and there's nowhere near as many of them now. I think the most people, from just the stuff I've been reading about, stop me if I'm wrong, but from what I've read, most immigrants come from Pakistan, Syria, and Afghanistan. I think it's hard to argue that any of those places aren't difficult places to live if you're anybody who's slightly out of the ordinary or not rich.
I'm surprised. Sudan, I would have said some African countries like Sudan would have been on there as well. But
that's what I mean when I said that. It was a couple of weeks about, maybe even a couple of weeks ago when I read that, and it was probably quite censored to what I was reading about at the time, so maybe it didn't include people from Africa and stuff, but I'd imagine there's quite a lot from Africa as well. But yeah, apparently the largest amounts of people that come to Britain are Afghanistan, Syria, and Pakistan.
So you would need 2 Airbus A380s, because it can carry up to 850 free passengers in a single class. Highly dense layout. With a highly dense layout, 868 passengers. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that information, Dave McGinnis. I appreciate that. I don't think they would give them first class accommodation on the flight for some reason.
No, I don't see that.
But that does kind of that does put things in perspective if they were to pull this off somehow, which I don't think they would, if I'm honest. There, I wanted
do you remember
to.
The horror stories with the? Do you remember the horror stories with the Rwanda thing? Though one guy, they were trying to deport, slit his own throat with a drinks can out of the vending machine because he was so determined that he didn't want to go to Rwanda instead of being sent back to his own country. Are we heading into that territory again if reform take office?
We're not just going to have that. We're going to have people fleeing to Ireland again. You're going to have that situation again. The Irish are going to get pissed off again with us because we've got another ridiculous.
They're always pissed off with us, and possibly rightly so. But
no. Well, speaking of disappointment, I wanted to share this very funny clip here from a Reform UK election candidate in Wales. There's just it seems like a very reasonable so obviously the argument is all about getting rid of 20-mile-an-hour signs, guys, but I don't know about you guys, but there's a sign behind her. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't say 20 miles an hour. Can you see? Don't say it, Graeme, but can you see the number behind her here as she promotes the need of how they in Wales need to get rid of 20-mile-an-hour signs? Before I even play this, let me just say, I don't think she picked a very good location for this promotional video. But let's hear her out, guys. Let's hear her out. Let's hear her out before we say any more, okay?
Of seeing this, and this all over Wales. While we'd like them at this and this, we certainly don't want them blanketed across our country. If you vote for Labour and Plaid on May the 7th, you have voted for parties that have spent £33 million placing these all across Wales. For common sense, vote reform on May.
Oh, it cut out. Common sense, guys. For common sense, vote reform. in the Welsh elections to get rid of those 20-mile-an-hour signs.
It's not that much of a difference. It's really not.
Darren, I'm going to send that. I'm going to send that to you, Darren, if you want to use that for tomorrow. By the way.
I like Darren shows on a Friday, I must admit.
Yeah, I do get him the odd clips as well. The odd clips, I find some and I'll just drop them off in his inbox on Twitter.
Every time I see one that's funny now, I think I should send that to Darren. I've not done it yet, but I think I should start. But my God, I mean, you look at that woman, and a lot of people, like in your comments, and people like me and you, we can look at her and we can see that she's a bloody idiot. But it bothers me.
I mean, like, I get you want to do it by road, right? I get that.
Yeah.
Makes all the sense in the road. But check your surroundings before you do the video.
Exactly. It was so obvious that that woman was a frigging idiot, wasn't it, judging by that clip? And yet there'll be loads of people that watch that and think, oh, God, yes, she's speaking sense. And that frightens me about our country these days. That's what worries me more than anything, is the fact that people will look at that woman and think that she's
then they'll say, but wait a minute, what's that sign behind her? Don't look at the sign, listen to me. Look at me.
Yeah. Yeah. Ignore the evidence of your eyes and ears.
Yep, just ignore it, guys.
Just
ignore it.
Equal than others.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh. Right. I do have one more video, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it till a little bit later on. Did you want to add more from your list, Graeme, before we go to any other pieces?
Yeah, there's one that I was just glancing down. Then I've got all sorts of sheets of paper on the floor around me with things I want to mention. But the council tax thing, reform. Put leaflets through everybody's door before the last election saying that they would not raise council tax, they wouldn't raise tax at all. And yet every single one of their councils has raised council tax. And some have had to apply to the government for special permission to raise it higher than the local limit. Every single one. It's not like you could say, oh, well, you know, it's not like if Farage was challenged on this, he could say, oh, well, there was a few areas that were facing particular problems, so those places... It's not that. It's every single one. It's such a blatantly obvious example of how they do not intend to follow up with anything that they say. But it's too late to affect the local elections. I think people aren't going to see it before next Thursday, are they?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm going to blatant example of how honest they are, though.
I shared the clip yesterday, Dave McGuinness. The comment you just mentioned there. I shared it yesterday on yesterday's live stream. Reform wants to stop the boats, and their Scottish leader has 6 boats. Yes, he does have 6 boats, indeed. And actually, speaking of him, here he is. Here. Reform Scottish leader says he owns 6 houses, 6 boats, and 5 cars. He says he's worked very hard in his life, guys. He worked very hard to get it. And yeah, I will say though, yes, I'm glad that you worked, and I'm glad you've been successful, and I genuinely mean that.
Yeah, I don't think good success.
Yeah, absolutely. But you don't need 6 houses, you don't need 6 boats, and you certainly don't need 5 cars. Like, it's not like you're going to drive every single car. I mean, I don't know about you, but you can only use 1 boat at a time. I mean, unless you tow another boat behind you. I mean, what's the logic here, And the best part is, as my friend Dave McGuinness mentioned many times, Reform want to stop the boats. And there they are. They want to stop the boats, and there they are buying the boats. They're literally buying the boats that they want to stop. Make it make sense, chat. Make it make sense. I can't.
Doesn't make sense.
Oh.
No. Do you know what, though? I don't begrudge that guy any of that. If you've worked hard enough in life that you can afford, 6 houses, 6 boats, and 5 cars, then whatever. I'm happy for people to be rich. I'm just not happy for people who are rich to shirk their responsibilities and look down and punch down on everyone else. If you own all that and you pay your taxes and are a decent person, then that's fine. But if you own all that and you're a right-wing monster who tells lies all the time, then I'm going to feel a little bit differently about your entitlement to that.
I need someone to clip that rant for Dave McGuinness. I had the video yesterday. I don't have it today because I shared it yesterday on the live stream. The live stream for Reganelite's watch along is timestamped, so if you want to find the clip on there, you can check out the clip on there. But it was absolutely brilliant. How he tried to justify, and he just got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
So the Reform leader in Scotland has been called entitled after telling our Hollywood election debate that he owns 6 houses, 6 boats, and 5 cars. Malcolm Moffat made the comments as he clashed with Scottish Greens co-leader Ross Gear. Is it Gear or Greer? I'm going to mispronounce the name. My apologies. John Sweeney, Anisawa, Russell Finlay, and Alex Cole Hamilton also took part in the STV broadcast. Offered a former banker who previously served as a Conservative minister in the UK government has a life peerage, though he stepped back from the Lords when he defected to Reform. And this is a quote. Here he is. He says in debate, "I went to London 40 years ago with £2,000 of debt, full of ambition. I worked hard and I was successful. Today I owned 6 houses, 5 cars, and 6 boats. In a 40-year business career, I've employed hundreds of thousands of people and I paid £45 million in tax." Oh, so he's
but are you a bellend who has treated most of those people like shit and stepped on people to get there? You know,
that's a very good point. That is a very, very good point.
No, I can't help thinking that there's very few billionaires who are decent people, because to become a billionaire or even a multimillionaire, like more multimillionaires than billionaires in England. But I think to get to that point, you've got to kind of be a bit of a weirdo, haven't you? Because you're hoarding. If somebody was to hoard newspapers in the same way that billionaires hoard money, we'd call them insane. You know, but it seems to be the one thing where people can hoard money. But you don't get to be a billionaire by being a nice person. There's very, very few people who are billionaires who are decent people.
And this is what he said then. He said, "In your Scotland, do you want more people like me or fewer people like me?" No. And then he shot himself in the foot by saying that. And the Green co-leader replied, "Fewer people like you. I'm glad you finally admitted how many homes you had, Lord Alford." Green said there were far more second homes than empty homes than there were homeless children in Scotland. And he said, "You don't need 6 homes. You don't even need 2 homes. Just everyone needs a home to live in." And he's right. You don't need 6 homes. Yeah. What do you need 6 homes for? I mean, literally, I mentioned this.
It's impossible to live in 6 homes.
Literally, we talked about this morning on the Good Morning Show, guys. For those who were at the show, we literally were saying, like, someone mentioned, I think it was like up to someone mentioned in the chat, like up to 1 million homes are empty because they're all owned by 2nd, 3rd, 4th people. And it's just like, there's your homes. There's your homes that, you know, the government wants to talk about building new homes. Like, there they are, sitting there empty.
Well, do you know what? We're never going to get. I doubt very much we'd ever get it from Labour. I mean, would we get it from any government? But I think maybe there should be some sort of switch in that people aren't allowed to do that. And while there is any sort of housing problem, if you're a landlord that owns property, that could be not just every landlord that owns anything, shops or anything, you know, warehouses or anything. But if you're a landlord that literally owns houses that are standing empty, then maybe there should be some law to force you to either rent those homes to local people, or at least like sort of subcontract them to the council, and then the council sends you money on from letting those homes, and give you some sort of security net that they'll be looked after, or the council will pay for any damages or something like that. But there's got to be some change. Now, that many millions of empty homes, there's people struggling all over the place to find. I'm struggling myself. You know, I'd like to move out of this house, but I've got no chance at the moment. Council houses just don't exist, apparently, in Runcorn and in many other places in the UK. Go on, I'm rambling, but
no, it's important. Like, you know, we spoke about, like, I spoke about housing this morning. Like, one of my biggest gripes is that, you know, Labour keep talking about building 1.5 million homes, and I think it was Benjamin, one member in the chat, who knows about it a bit more than who's in that kind of area. He was saying that, you know, Labour actually are trying to build the homes, but I don't know how many of the homes that, like, I don't know how many of those homes are necessarily homes that people can afford to live in. And this is my criticism.
Numbers either.
The thing is it's all well and good building lots and lots of homes, but it's all about whether or not people can afford to live in them. That's the thing that sticks out to me, you know, when it comes to that.
Or it's a suitable types of housing for the people who need housing.
Yeah, indeed. I wanted to. You did mention the election leaflets, so actually, let's have a look at this story as well from Royal Mail here as well.
I think I've mentioned. I think I've written this one down. Yeah.
Yeah. So Royal Mail is investigating claims that postal workers binned reform Russian election leaflets. The message on private Facebook groups for staff said, "I dumped them all in the bin. They can sack me." Now, I just want to just say this here, okay? Like, hold on. You don't even know what I'm going to say yet. You don't even know what I'm going to say yet. Look. If I was that worker, okay,
that set me off.
I'm just saying this. I'm just saying this, guys. If I was that worker, I would not have said anything online. I would not have said anything online because if you don't say anything, nothing's going to happen to you. And here's the thing, like, why would you intentionally get yourself sacked? I don't know if he's been sacked. We'll have a quick look in a bit. But why would you intentionally go out and say that? Go out and intentionally say that? Like, why do you need to say that? Because here's the thing, right? There was I think I mentioned this to you guys a while ago. There was a Labour MP or a Labour candidate somewhere where they saw a green leaflet in one of the letterboxes and they took it out and took it away from them. And they basically scrunched it up in their pocket or whatnot. Which I believe it was reported to your Electoral Commission. But I don't know if there's been any punishment for the candidate and whatnot. I don't have the story on me, but there was a story that happened like that. If someone wants to just double check that, the Labour MP, it'd be greatly appreciated. But here is the thing, like, in all seriousness, like, you can't bin Reform UK election leaflets, okay? If you are a postal worker, like I know you want to, chat. I know Graeme wants to too, okay? But you can't do it, guys. You just can't do it.
No, you can't.
Okay.
No, you can't. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like, if it gets in your letterbox and you don't want it, you know, just send it back in the post to its return address, and then Reform will have to pay a charge for it. But like, you just can't. Like, I listen. Fair play to this man for coming out and saying this. I dumped the wall in the bin. I don't care if they sack me. Like, fair play to him. But like, you shouldn't be doing that, mate. You can't be doing.
No, you shouldn't. He shouldn't, and even if he is, he shouldn't be talking about it on that.
That's the thing. Like, why would you like? I mean, I guess he wanted bragging rights. You know, I guess he wanted to brag about it. He can look back in life and say he can look back on life, Graeme, saying, "I'm the guy that stopped Reform winning in this area because I dumped all their leaflets in a bin."
No, I do get it, but I also, you know, my integrity comes forward, and I have to say that that's not right, because we need to win the arguments on truth and policy, not on tactics like, you know, preventing people from hearing what other parties have to say.
Yeah.
So no, I don't agree with it, but I did read the story. I did think it was quite funny.
Criminal charges too, as tampering with posts is a crime. Reganelite says 5 Scott. Yeah, it is a crime. It is a crime. You're tampering with people's posts. It is indeed.
That's
so let me
also
read a little.
space. That's not
Yeah.
okay.
Let me read a little bit in this. So, Royal Mail is investigating allegations. In a post, he said, "My DO had reformed the party's D2D today. I don't know what would have been that they can sack me. IDGHF, get the F out." I sort of think along those lines. Yeah. DO is an algorithm for the delivery office, D2D, door to door, or unaddressed advertising mail. And IDGAF means I don't give a F. You can tell there. The message was shared to a private 30,000 member Facebook group called Royal Mail Chat. It's unknown which part of the UK was involved. He literally shared it he shared it in a Royal Mail Chat, and he didn't think this was going to come out.
What a dumbass.
No. A Reform Russian legal representative wrote a letter of complaint to Alistair Crunchang, the chief executive of Royal Mail, which said the screenshot was circulated on Saturday. Royal Mail says it plays a crucial role in elections. We take our responsibility very seriously, and we do not tolerate deliberate non-delivery of mail. Adding, we are investigating these allegations, remain committed to impartiality, delivery for candidates. Of course, Nigel Farage had to chime in. He's saying, is it right that Royal Mail have launched in full investigation into this allegation? If found to be true, it'd be very disturbing. An attack on democratic process itself. Which is, I hate to say this. It's kind of right. Reform have demanded an immediate and thorough internal investigation within 3 days of its letter dated on Saturday, and a full written explanation in addition to any compensation measures. Royal Mail proposes an offer to reform Russia for the loss and disruption caused by this incident. The party is also seeking confirmation that appropriate disciplinary action and up to and including summary dismissal has or will be taken against the employee found to have participated in or condoned destruction of the materials. It called for written assurances that future reform campaign deliveries will be prioritized, properly monitored, safeguarded against any reoccurrence. The legal representative of the Facebook post, this administration provides clear primal face evidence of the deliberate destruction of non-delivery of Reform UK's door-to-door campaign material that has been entrusted to Royal Mail. Such that constitutes a willful breach of Royal Mail's statutory and contractual obligations to deliver mail and literate impartiality and efficiency, which is, true. Like, look, I'm not telling Royal Mail workers to do this, but, if you don't want to get caught doing it, if you are doing it, you shouldn't be doing it. But if you are doing it and you don't want to get caught, don't post it on social media. I'm not saying you should be doing it because it's against the law. But if you are doing it, if you put it out on social media, you're going to get caught. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not encouraging anyone to do it because it would because it's against the law. Okay. So
I'm surprised I haven't had more. I'm surprised I haven't had more election propaganda, though. Before the last local elections, I had loads. It was like every day there was something new. This time, all I've heard from is Labour and Reform. I haven't heard anything from any other party.
Yeah, the only one that's coming to the only one, like, this is, look, Graham, where I am is supposed to be a Labour stronghold that's under threat from the Greens. I've not had I've not had a single Labour leaflet. I've not had a single politician knock on my door. No politician has knocked on my door. And I've had not one, but 2 leaflets from the Green Party. 2 leaflets from the Green Party. I've had 2 leaflets from the Green Party. So where are they?
I haven't had any from the Greens. I think the Greens have just given up here. I think they know that they've just got no starting ground even in Runcorn. So they've just got. I haven't heard anything from them, but I did before the last local elections. I did have a green leaflet before the last local elections, but I mean, it was a few days to go, yes. I mean, I might get a surprise, I might get loads in the week, but so far I've only had Reform and Labour, and the Labour was like a really super local one. It was for literally, like, he actually lives a couple of streets down, the guy who's the local Labour councillor, and it was for him, and that's all I've had.
Yeah. What's that? Regan caveat, but do keep sure. Look, wait a minute. What are you saying there? In other words, really, you're basically saying if you cannot be good, They cannot be good at it. No, I'm not endorsing it in any way, shape, or form. But if you decide to put it out there on social media, don't be surprised if you get caught. Like, you know, don't be surprised if you get caught. Like, it's your own fault for doing it. I mean, you're breaking the law. You know, if you're going to face, and as David Guinness rightly pointed out in the comments there, because he admitted it, he will be charged with that confession. He'll be charged with that confession because of that confession. Absolutely. You know, he's going to face serious consequences for it. You know, like regardless of your political views, like you're a Royal Mail worker. You're there to deliver the mail. Like, it doesn't matter what that mail is. It's not your fucking business at the end of the day. You know, like you may be angry about putting that leaflet in that postal box, but that's you're supposed to be impartial. You know, that's what you're supposed to be. You know.
Yeah. If you think back to the local elections, last May, imagine if you saw that Sarah Poacher had won for Reform UK with just 6 votes, and then you found out that 2 local Royal Mail postmen in Holton had decided not to post all the Labour leaflets. So, you know, you'd be furious, wouldn't you? Because you'd think if they had posted them, maybe, you know, it would have got Labour another 15 votes and they'd have beat Sarah Poacher by, you know, what, 11 votes or whatever. So I get it, and I don't think it's okay, no matter what party it's being done in favour of. I want Labour to win, or I want the Greens to win, or I want the Lib Dems to win. I want Reform and the Tories to fuck right off. But I do think they need to be treated fairly, and all parties need to have the same level playing field when it comes to an election.
Yeah, indeed. Graeme, before we wrap up, before I share the funny AI video, have you got 1 or 2 other stories you want to share with us before we go to the video? Is there any other stories you want to share with us that you've got there, maybe, that we haven't discussed?
Yeah, I think you put me on the spot a little bit there.
Yeah, I'm afraid. Yeah.
No, Farage, he's been to Golders Green, hasn't he? While going to Golders Green himself to try and, you know, talk about all the politics to do with it, he's accused Keir Starmer of just being, you know, talking about politics regarding it and using it for political point scoring. It's like, what are you doing? It's so obvious that he's trying to do exactly the thing. He's accusing, you know, the opposition, or well, it's not his opposition, but you know what I mean, accusing his opposition of himself. And yes, I think that loads of people just won't see it. They just won't see it. They'll think it was like noble of him to go there and make a speech and say something. But I found it. When I had a look at what he'd said and what he'd done and what, you know, I thought it was so cynical.
It is so cynical. And I had this video in the bag. This isn't the funny video, but because you brought it up, I think it's worth sharing reminding people of Nigel Farage's history when it comes to Jews, guys. Let me remind you of this, guys, here. This is on the left there, BBC News covering Nigel Farage condemning the anti-Semitism in Golders Green. And on the right there, you have one of the 34 people who accused Nigel Farage of anti-Semitism and racism in school.
Most vivid memories of my school life is Farage repeatedly coming up to me and knowing that I was Jewish, saying Hitler was right and Gassam, and that was frequently followed by us, you know, kind of imitating the sound of escaping gas. As the grandchild of a couple who had escaped from Hitler and Nazi Germany, but whose families left behind had perished in the Holocaust, you know, this was extremely wounding and upsetting.
Are they telling the truth?
No, they're not telling the truth.
How do you feel watching that?
Really angry.
At school, categorically on the record, you did not racially abuse fellow pupils.
I would never, ever do it in a hurtful or insulting way.
It's not quite the same as not doing it.
It's 49 years ago. It's 49 years ago.
What difference is it? What difference to the time?
Isn't it? Well, you know, I just entered my teens.
You're not quite ruling this out. The question is, did you ever racially abuse fellow pupils in school? No, you've caveated it with a hurtful way.
Not with intent.
What do you mean not with intent? I don't understand what you mean by not with intent. What does that mean?
You wouldn't do.
But what does that mean?
No.
No what?
No. I have never directly really tried to go and hurt anybody.
Sorry to bring
You
it
know
up,
what?
guys, but it was worth
I
reminding
kind of
us.
accept what he's saying there. I think I know that kids say stupid things, but it's how you respond to them. He should have, if he'd have come forward and said, "Yeah, I was a dickhead when I was a teenager. I shouldn't have said these things. You know, I should have. You know, it was stupid of me. Obviously, I don't feel like that now. You know, it was nearly half a century ago. I'd have kind of some respect for him, but it's the fact that he tried to normalize. This is okay. You know, it's okay to say these things because it was a long time ago. It's only okay if you're prepared to. It's only okay to say things years ago and okay to justify yourself saying things years ago.
It was 49 years ago. It's just like, it doesn't matter if it was 49 years ago. You know, you've been called out for saying these things.
Yeah. At least stand up and say now that you don't agree with those things anymore. And he didn't do that, did he?
Before we go to the funny video, because we kind of need a bit of laughter to see ourselves out, Dave McGuinness says, can you tell Graeme that if he wants to secure council accommodation, come to my North Lancashire village? Currently 10 lovely, empty, high-quality flats with free Wi-Fi as part of your council tax. There you go, Graeme. You've been invited to North Lancashire village.
Very tempting indeed. But I think my best mate and my brother might miss me, so I'll stay here for now.
Well, the offer, Dave McGuinness has put a very nice
much
offer
appreciated.
Well, appreciate the we always appreciate your hospitality, David. So thank you for
Indeed.
Absolutely there.
But Dave knows I'm a great supporter in that idea that if we are going to split Britain up, we should bring the line a bit lower in Liverpool and you know, Manchester and some of the cities in the north. We can join Scotland instead.
I
have a lot more in common with Dave McGuinness than I have.
I know there are those. There is there a political party in Northern England, like the North Political one or something, that's trying to subvert from the rest of England or something, wasn't there? There was something.
I don't think they're very serious, but yeah, I have heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. One final video to see ourselves out, and it is an AI video, but it's so funny. I think it's worth sharing because it's a reform one as well. So I've already watched it once, and I just got a good laugh out of it because it was like at first it looks like a typical reform video, but as it goes on, you start to see just like the voters like, oh God, what am I voting for? All right, let me shut up and play it. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit because the music is very, very loud. To be fair, you don't need the music, but anyways. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
They're not reform candidates.
Oof.
That look, apparently, yep. These maybe they are reform candidates. I don't know. No, I don't know. But it's still like
they do attract contrarians, don't they? Yeah, they do attract a few contrarians.
That's the typical reform guy.
Whatever his name was.
It would actually be really, really good if they actually put a picture of the candidates next to the on the ballot card, because then they could see exactly who they're voting for. And I think a picture of them would actually make them change their minds about who they would vote for.
I know. Well, yeah, but although having said that, they'll see names like, you know, Mohammed Islaf and things like that, and they'll be put off by just the names, won't they? So,
indeed, yeah. anyways, I hope you guys got a bit of a chuckle off from that anyway, because it would be funny if that was true. But unfortunately, that is an AI video. But anyways, I hope you guys got a laugh out of that. And yeah, we talked covered quite a lot today, didn't we, Graeme? Today, so yeah, and somehow, guys, by some miracle, the stream didn't crash. We didn't have internet issues, which is even better. So I'm very, very glad about that as well. And we were able to play some videos as well, which I also thought was very good. So yeah, well, we will definitely do this again. I'll definitely arrange another show with Graeme at some point as well, because I definitely I think it's very, very. I think you guys enjoyed it, and I certainly enjoyed it, and I'm sure you did too. But now you also got. You got to work on Kwasi Kwarteng now. You've got 5 reasons why Kwasi Kwarteng is.
I'll add it to the 5 reasons playlist.
Another one to add to the playlist, indeed. So, guys, I want to say a massive thanks. Oh, wait, are you going to do Russell Brand?
Do you know what? I haven't had him on one of the lists, but I will add him to the list because he's certainly worth talking about, isn't he?
Did you do Piers Morgan already? Have you done Piers Morgan already?
I haven't done Piers Morgan. He is on the list, and he has been on the poll a couple of times, but he didn't win. But I think if I just picked a time when he's been in the news talking about something, then he might be more likely to win. But
well, Mr. E says, Graeme, you're already Scottish. You just haven't realised it yet.
Thank you, mate.
There you are. There you are. Guys, if you're not a subscriber already to Graeme Pryce's Power to the People, please subscribe to his channel. Link is in the description. I'm sure one of our fabulous moderators will put a link in the chat as well. Please go and subscribe to his channel. Also, I want to remind people, if you haven't subscribed to some of our other fabulous YouTubers who are also in the chat, such as Jow, Daily Blase, and Dave McGuinness, of the 2 Davies, please consider subscribing to all their YouTube channels as well. They all do fantastic work themselves. There's lots of wonderful YouTubers doing live streams as well tomorrow. So such as myself and Daily Blase with Friday Frolics. There'll be Graham Hughes. Graham Hughes as well will also be live streaming, as well as Witchigoth may be going live tomorrow as well. There's lots of wonderful, great YouTubers that are worth checking out as well. But thank you guys all for coming along. Thank you guys for all your comments. Sorry if we didn't read every single one of them, but those who sent super chats for the security protection, I very much appreciate that. Indeed, very, very generous of everyone. And yeah, we really appreciate everybody coming out. So yes, we will do this again at some point. But I will be back live tomorrow at 11 o'clock. But before you come and see me tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, make sure you do check out Dave McGuinness' show at 10:30. Don't be late, as he says, or he puts you on the naughty step. I've been on it before. It's not very nice. And his viewers can tell you, those who have been late will tell you it's not very nice either. So do join him for that show for all things and all news on Scotland. Great stuff from him there as well. So, but if you're up even earlier, you can check out Hughes of the World with Graeme Hughes at 9 a.m. as well. So you can even more news there if you're up even earlier as well. But thank you guys again. There is no proper outro video because this is StreamYard I'm using, not Restream. But I'm literally just going to press the end stream button and it's just going to be like this. So thank you guys again. Enjoy the rest of your evenings and we will catch you all very, very soon.